Oh.
Not even I have one.
Gold, huh? Huh. Sounds like it's a whole nother world back. Come on, Yagami.
Waku-san spent most of his time in here.
And when was he admitted?
2 years ago. With Alzheimer's.
Some kind of dementia, right?
Alzheimer's is a neurodegenerative disease that leads to dementia, yes. In fact, it's the cause of almost 70% of all dementia cases.
So, they're one and the same, kinda? Anyway, do what you gotta do, Yagami.
Uh-huh. What the? Has anyone else slept here since Waku-san's death?
Nobody, no.
And Waku-san was missing from his room the morning of the incident, yes?
That's right.
So, he was murdered here, then carried out.
I can't say for sure.
Hey, what the? The window's sealed shut. There's no way Waku-san could have escaped through here. Hey, all the rooms have windows like this, right? It seems like people would notice if something was going on in here.
Well, we only have so many employees in this ward. The halls stay fairly busy, but it's mostly dementia patients moving between appointments.
I see. I wonder how the room looks from the hallway.
You got all you need from here.
I think so. You can definitely see what's going on from out here. Shintani-sensei, can you lay on the bed for me?
I guess so. Care to join me, Terasawa-san? What do you got to lose? It was a joke.
So from this vantage point, you can't make out the person's face.
So, was this the colossal waste of time I knew it'd be?
Nope. I got something I'd only get from being here.
Does it matter? Shinpei Okubo is guilty as hell.
Well, according to him, he's not.
Well, of course, that's what he says. You want to review the case?
Sure.
Whatever you want. All right. Our victim was the patient staying in this room. Koichi Waku, male. At 8:30 a.m. on the morning of the crime, the nurses noticed he was missing from his bed. Given Waku's degenerative state, they assumed he was wandering around the hospital somewhere. But after being unable to track him down, hospital staff filed a missing persons report.
Right.
You know what a dementia patient's like, though. Hard to imagine they'd make it outside on their own. The only conclusion, then, was that somebody must have taken him out of the hospital. After inspecting all the cars that came in and out of the center, they were left with one possible suspect. A laundryman by the name of Shinpei Okubo. It didn't take much prodding for Okubo to confess burying Waku's body out in the mountains. And lo and behold, 3 months after Waku disappeared, the cops found his body rotting away right where Okubo said it'd be. Cause of death was most likely suffocation, but they still don't know for sure. Any objections to this so far, Yagami-sensei?
Actually, yeah.
And what's that?
Okubo-kun insists he didn't kill anyone. All he admits to is dumping the body.
Oh, sure. But come on, roughed up his girlfriend. Accident.
Right, but that was over 6 years ago. He was just a kid. Got drunk, made a huge mistake.
And what? It's okay for a kid to hit a woman?
Of course not. But that's not what he's on trial for.
True.
I don't condone what he did. But legally, committing one crime doesn't mean you're guilty of another.
Fine. He said he left the claimed Waku-san's corpse.
If anyone should, it's his...
We're meeting with... He should just be...
Are you two done here?
Yep. The service entrance, I think it was. That's the only other place we'll need to see today.
We'll need to take...
Follow me. Hey, yeah, criminal suits are... They don't even...
Careful who you...
Look, take it from me. Looks like a regular old garage.
It is.
Hey, Yagami, check this out. These are the carts they use to collect sheets and linens. Day of the crime. Okubo would have been simple for him to sneak a body in there and cart it right out.
Maybe so. Where was Okubo parked on the day of the incident?
Oh, the truck was parked here, with the back facing the elevator. Here's a recreation of it.
I see.
DNA evidence from the victim was found in the flatbed of the truck. That's proof enough that the body was there. And when they confronted Okubo,
There was evidence that the body was in Okubo's truck. When was Waku-san last seen?
Just before 8 a.m. on the day of the crime.
yeah, 7:50 to be precise. An ADDC scientist will be testifying to that. He claims he saw him nice and cozy in his bed.
I see. Can we talk to this witness?
I tried to get an appointment, but they shut me down. Said they don't want us interfering with their research anymore.
They're not willing to make an exception this once?
This isn't an issue you want to push, Yagami. Worst case scenario, you get charged with witness intimidation.
All right. Anyway, the victim was last seen at 7:50.
That's right. Breakfast is at 8 o'clock, so the patients who can walk on their own gather in the break room. But on the day of his disappearance, 8:30 came and went with no sign of Waku-san.
You thought you'd find him quickly.
Right.
Got that, Yagami? Here. All we know is, Waku was taken out of his room sometime between 7:50 when he was last seen, and 8:30 when everyone noticed he was gone. During that 40-minute span, somebody suffocated Waku and stuffed him into the laundry bin. Nobody suspected there was a body in the cart. And the only clear culprit was Okubo, the man in charge of the laundry. To further back this up, DNA evidence from Waku was found in Okubo's truck. And when the police questioned Okubo, he confessed to burying the body in the mountains of Okutama. 3 months after the crime, Waku's corpse was finally found. With me? This thing's airtight, Yagami. I know you're getting into this, but just give it up already.
Even though Okubo says he's innocent, I promised him we'd do everything we could.
Not my problem.
Fine.
Even if I'm not...
I'm sorry, but...
If you like, I could take you to see Waku-san's room again.
You don't mind? That would be... Waka-san. Not yet. The window's sealed shut. I wonder how well you can see in here from the hallway. Yeah, I've seen what I need.
How long will Okubo-san's sentence be?
Huh?
If he's found guilty, that is.
Probably 10 years, maybe more. It's hard to say for sure.
And what if he confesses? Would they shorten his sentence?
Well, at the very least, it'd make a better impression than insisting he didn't do it.
But you're still going to push an innocent plea? Even though Okubo-san is the one who'll suffer for it?
If he's really not guilty, he won't have to. I'll win. But to be perfectly honest, this is my first criminal case.
What?
Civil cases have been a mixed bag for me, too. I've actually lost more than I've won.
Is that so?
Apparently, a smart lawyer would never even consider an innocent plea in this case. Guess it's a good thing that I'm not so smart then, because I honestly believe I can win. Terasawa-san, were you close to Okubo-kun?
I spoke to him pretty often, yes. I would see him around the ward all the time.
And what did you think of him? Did he seem like the kind of guy who'd do something like this?
I'm sorry. The director told us not to say too much.
Wait! If you know anything that can help, just get in touch, okay? I'll do whatever it takes to set Okubo-kun free. But I can't do it alone. Just give it some thought, Terasawa-san. Just now, we went to the ADDC. Thought I should have a look at things with my own eyes.
And how did it go?
There's no chance you walk. You're practically a lost cause.
Hey!
Yagami-sensei, is that what you think?
It's like this, Okubo. You tell me you're innocent, and I'll fight to the end. I really have nothing to lose by helping you out.
It's just like I told you. Whoever did it is framing me.
On the day of the crime, starting at 8...
Yes.
And after that...
That's not true. I didn't...
And I do. So when you went down to leave the center, you realized there was a...
Yes. That's what happened.
Then, after debating whether or not to report the body, you chose to hide it in the...
I had a criminal assault on my record. I knew the police would have suspected me if I went to them.
Aren't you forgetting the
Huh?
Bad blood.
3 days before the murder, Waku-san claimed Okubo-kun here punched him and stole his wallet. They told me all about it at this...
When did you even ask?
While you were busy chatting up Terasawa-chan. Even if I bitch about it, I'm still damn good at my job. Not quite. They call it delusion of theft. It's a symptom of dementia. You think something's been stolen from you, then blame the first person you see. Not the easiest thing someone... So when Waku-san...
But I didn't...
No.
I wouldn't kill a man over something like that.
Come on.
It wasn't me. Please, you have to believe me.
Calm down.
Yagami... Okay.
Fine.
Hey, you know that nurse, Terasawa-san? Cute girl. Sounded like she was worried about you. Bet you'd have a chance with her once you get out of here.
I don't know. If you'll excuse me.
So Shintani just gotta learn some...
Maybe so.
Huh.
Yagami-san, have you seen...
Where's this coming?
She's just not that great. I suggest you be more assertive.
Right.
You mean that friend of yours, Sari-kun? She's got Shintani all riled up. Said he'd have been nicer to you if he knew you had friends who looked like her. Jackass.
Hey, nothing's official yet, guys. Regardless, keep it on the down low.
Yet?
Mafia-kun's a prosecutor.
Can we not do this?
Either way, guess the Okubo case comes first.
That's the plan.
What is your plan?
Well...
Yeah.
It's the hospital room the victim was staying in. This is the last place Wakusan was seen before he disappeared. The window doesn't open, so the only way out is through the door. No one saw him leave, though, even though there are always people in the halls. And the only one who entered the room was Okubo with his laundry card.
Hey, I don't want to be a...
That's not my point.
That evidence won't win you...
What the hell's your problem?
Was that Shintani?
I think so.
Get back here!
That bastard. Oh, he's eavesdropping on you.
What the hell?
I tried to stop him, but he pulled a stun gun on.
Hey! Wait! Hold up! You won't get away! Hold up! You won't get away! A woman? Aren't you Terasawa-san?
Let me go!
We got a groper out here? Not on my watch, you son of a bitch!
Can all lawyers fight like that?
Did you really need to run away like that? I assume you came to see me.
There was something I wanted to talk to you about, yes. But I wasn't sure if I should. Then that pig-headed friend of yours started shouting, so I just lost it.
Okay, but did you have to tase him? Not that he didn't have it coming. Anyway, I'm listening if you want to talk. No matter what it is, I'll keep your secret. Anything you tell me will fall under client attorney privilege.
Well, you know the witness who last saw Waku-san? Said he saw him sleeping in his bed.
Uh-huh.
Well, that witness is a man by the name of Shono-san. He's one of the scientists at the ADDC. Not only that, but he's the director's right-hand man, too.
This is him?
Yes. He's a very dedicated doctor, so the nurses have a lot of faith in him. But
And what's that?
I guess I'm just skeptical as to whether or not he actually saw Waku-san. I don't think he's intentionally deceiving us, but he may. And if I had to guess,
Still,
how could we? That's
none of you would testify?
maybe the other nurse.
Yeah?
I think
Oh, really?
I'm currently employed. Part of our research on the day of the crime, I was making my usual rounds through the ward.
And what time was that?
Around 7:50?
You're sure?
Yes, the patients eat breakfast at precisely 8 o'clock. I always head to the break room myself, right around then, too.
This break room, to be precise?
That's correct. Our more mobile patients walk there for breakfast instead of eating in their own rooms. Then, while the nurses help the patients eat, I ask about how they feel and how the medicine is treating them.
And on the day of Waku-san's disappearance, you passed by his room before going...
Yes,
And in that room, you...
yes.
Can you...
The door has...
And this is the room you're referring to, yes?
That's correct. From where he was...
And what time was that?
around 7:50.
No further questions.
Yagami-sensei.
She actually...
Not really, no.
Terasawa-san, you were present for Shono-san's testimony just now, yes?
Yes.
And what is your opinion on that testimony?
For a scientist, I felt his wording was rather imprecise. And as a medical professional, I felt his actions were negligent.
Could I ask you to be a little more specific?
Our witness, Shono-san, claims he saw Waku-san sleeping in his bed during his morning rounds. However, there's no way he could have known that just by looking in from the hallway.
I have evidence supporting Terasawa-san's testimony. Take a look at this, if you would.
And this is?
Please look at this. It's a photograph of the victim's room as viewed from the hallway. In other words, this is what Shono-san would have seen when he checked in on Waku-san. The murderer was already hiding in the room. He then killed Waku-san after Shono-san left. After that, he used a laundry cart to carry the body down to Okubo-san's truck in the garage.
But there was only one person seen taking a laundry cart from Waku-san's room. And that's Okubo's? Are you saying he really is the culprit? Please.
Sorry, our witness. However, I'm not convinced that's actually what happened. Please look, it's a photograph of the victim. In other words, Shono-san was, excuse me, what he saw. He couldn't have been able to identify it specifically as Waku-san. So to claim as much in his testimony seems like quite an exaggeration.
But common...
The staff in Waku-san's case, it's impossible to tell anything just by looking in from the hallway. There was actually one time a while back where we thought he was under the covers, only to find Waku-san eating in the break room a second later. And upon re-examining the room, we realized that we had mistaken a bunched-up pillow for Waku-san.
The witness makes an important distinction. The prosecution asserts that Shono-san's testimony is clear. that the victim was taken out of his room at some point between 7:50 and 8:30 in the morning. They claimed that because of this time frame, the defendant must have smuggled Waku-san's body out in his laundry bin. But if Shono-san's testimony is invalid, as the defense asserts, we have to consider the possibility that Waku-san was taken in the middle of the night when nobody else was around. After which, the killer could have waited until the morning to plant the body in the defendant's truck. In other words, the defense establishes that there is reasonable doubt that Okubo-san is the killer, rendering the prosecution's central argument unsound. Your Honor, taking this new testimony into account, I'd like to call Shono-san back to the stand for cross-examination. Shono-san.
Yes?
I'll get right to the point. On the day of the crime.
I saw...
And did you get a clear look at his face?
I don't remember.
So it's possible that it could have been someone other than Waku-san in that bed. Or maybe even a pillow that you mistook to be Waku-san's body. Isn't that right?
Objection! The defense...
Sustained.
Shono-san. Then the defense rests. But I do have...
Huh?
The charges against my client stem from your assertion that he's the only possible suspect, assuming the crime took place within the stated time frame. However, I would suggest then that you withdraw the charges against my client. With such inconclusive evidence, you'll only be wasting the court's precious time.
The prosecution does not consider the witness's testimony in his memory of the incident may be...
So, your whole case is based on a fuzzy memory? This
Dr. Shono is after paying his own way through medical school. He went on to become the head researcher at the ADDC. Day after day, leading to his... If you want to know whether...
In other words, because he's such a great researcher, his testimony is infallible. Is that the sum of it? Because from here, it sounds like you're putting your faith in Shono-san's title.
The prosecution is not as easily swayed as you think. And you want to talk reputation? What of your client's history of domestic abuse? 6 years ago, and the cause? A minor, drunken... Now, fast forward to what occurred a few Waku... Given the...
Terasawa-san?
Okubo-san is not a violent person. And he hasn't even had a drink in over 6 years. Not a single drop since the incident.
My court will not stand for this commotion.
He didn't blame Waku-san at all. He knew that the outburst was just caused by his witness's fault. For him to resort...
Please leave this courtroom at once.
You're right that he may be hard to approach, but he's a kind soul, and he always keeps his promises. Okubo-san's not the only person in this courtroom who would be affected by a guilty verdict, either. As a matter of fact, it would break my heart. And even through it all, he wanted me to keep this a secret, not to tell anyone, not even his lawyer, that we were dating. Even though he knew he could have ended up in prison, making sure I was safe was the only thing in the world he cared about. That's just who he is. But when the prosecution has already decided he's a criminal, how could he possibly be given a fair trial?
Her little outburst wasn't technically admissible, but as the trial dragged on, it hung over the jury like a stone. And in the end, Shinpei Okubo was found not guilty. But only a month after his release, everything changed. The same girl who had so bravely proclaimed Okubo's innocence died by the man's own hand. Hi.
Something wrong?
No, it's nothing, Vice Minister.
But...
I haven't seen you in about 3 years, Kido-san. I see you're still the director.
You look familiar, but I can't quite place the name.
I seem to recall you looking sharper.
I'm a detective based in Kamurocho now. The name's Yagami.
I remember now. You're the reason Terasawa-kun's no longer with us. Remember, Shono?
Okubo-san was unstoppable. If only my testimony had been better.
Does it matter? What brings you here anyway?
I'm investigating a murder, and I'll need your cooperation with it.
Yes, I see. Yes, it does seem we received a phone call from this Shintani-san you speak of.
Do you know who he was calling?
Dr. Shono.
The same Shono-san you were just with?
Yes, however, it's unclear as to what the point of the call was meant to be. Shono was away from his desk at the time, you see, and Shintani-san didn't leave a message.
You have no idea what he wanted to talk about?
None. Shono says he doesn't know a Shintani-san, and sees no reason why he would be calling.
Oh, really?
Look, Shono and I co-authored the research paper on AD9. We're quite well known, as it turns out. Sometimes, complete strangers pretend to be close friends or relatives in order to contact us. Perhaps Shintani-san fell into that category.
Have you heard of the mole murders taking place in Kamurocho, Dr. Kido? 3 Yakuza, each one with their eyes gouged out. It's a grisly business. Shintani was killed in the same way.
I've seen the news.
Can you think of anything tying the ADDC to those murders?
Huh? Look, just what are you implying? Look, I believe we're done here. There's nothing I can help you with.
Please stop! You can't!
Who are you?
Detective Kuroiwa, Kamuro Police, Organized Crime. One of your guests here has information related to the case I'm currently investigating. That would be you, Yagami. I'd like to speak to you as a material witness to the murder of the lawyer Masamichi Shintani.
Is that so?
The mole's latest victim was the lawyer, Shintani. The last call he made brings the case that ruined Yagami 3 years ago back to the surface. A patient was taken from a hospital and found buried in the mountains. Yagami defended the suspect, Shinpei Okubo, and got an acquittal. But 1 month later, he murdered his girlfriend Emi Terasawa with a kitchen knife and burned the remains.
I'd like to speak to you as a material witness to the murder of the lawyer.
Is that so?
I'm Hoshino, an attorney at Genda Law Office. Officer, is this interview voluntary, or...?
It is.
It's your call, Yagami-san.
I think I'll pass.
Excuse me?
You have your answer, sir.
You can make this easier if you come now.
Your empty threats don't mean much.
Can you take this elsewhere?
Too bad he's not a lawyer anymore. Your friend's nothing now.
I'd like to see you try. Why do you suspect me anyway? I bet you don't even have a reason.
I can come up with a few good...
Enough!
You'll regret this, Yagami.
Kuroiwa-san.
You two, out.
Before we go, can we speak to Sean? We need to know why Shintani called him.
Listen, now, please leave.
No problem. We'll let you get back to work.
This is really getting out of hand. I can't believe that detective thinks you're a material...
Yeah. I don't know what he's talking about. But what I'm more interested in is how he even knew where to find me.
That's a good point. How would the police know we were here?
Beats me. For now, let's focus on Shono, though. It would be a waste coming here.
Agreed.
Can I help you?
Actually, I've already been here. I was just with Director Keto.
Oh,
Well, not exactly. Where would I be able to find him?
let me see. That should be the research wing. I believe he's in the protein abnormalities lab.
Probably need a gold keycard to get in there, huh?
That's correct, sir. I should be able to lend you one with the director's approval, though. Just give me a moment to ask. Could you tell me your name, sir?
Actually, never mind. Keto-san seemed pretty busy earlier. I'll try back later.
Are you sure, sir?
Good call. There's no chance Keto-san would let us in.
At least now we know where Shono is.
Yeah. I wonder...
Suspicious. The service entrance parking lot. All the delivery people come in and out through here. This is where Okubo's truck... What the? This goes over to the hospital. I think Waku-san was up on the 4th floor. This leads to the research wing.
The receptionist said he would be in the protein abnormalities lab. Huh.
What the? Director Keto's office. What the? Some kind of security gate, huh? Hey, this is where we are now.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am?
This is one of Shono-san's researchers. She was just about to return to the lab.
Oh?
My name's Hashimoto. I can show you into Dr. Shono's lab if you'd like.
Are you sure?
Of course.
Great. We'll take you up on that.
Wonderful. Hashimoto-san just happened to be passing through.
Thank you.
Right this way.
I really appreciate this, Hashimoto-san. I'm Yagami.
And I'm Hoshino, from the Genda Law Office. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, don't mention it. I'm glad to help a guest of Director Keto's. This place is so massive, you practically need a tour guide to get around. I hope you're okay with...
So, Hashimoto-san, what kind of work do you yourself do here?
I'm part of the team developing 89. Dr. Shono is the head of... Pretty new around here.
Speaking of, what exactly does AD9 stand for?
Well, the AD comes from the name of the center. The Advanced Drug Development Center, ADDC. And it's the 9th drug our department's developed.
Oh, that was surprisingly easy.
It'll be the first dementia-curing drug on the market, right? Seems like it's really getting fast-tracked because of that. But there's a lot riding on this one, right? It could finally cure Alzheimer's disease.
That's right. Do you know how many dementia patients there are in Japan alone?
A couple 100,000 at least. Maybe even in the millions?
Right. As of 2012, there were 4.62 million.
That many?
By 2025, that number will increase to at least 7 million. Potentially up to 13 million, including at-risk patients. That's 1 in every 9 people.
Yikes.
However, as a nation, we're already at capacity in caring for these patients. In many cases, people over 60 are stuck looking after their dementia-struck parents in their own homes. Worldwide, it's estimated there will be 135 million patients by the year 2050. It's staggering. In other words, AD9 could save the world. This could be a real miracle.
I gotta say, this is making me feel kinda bad about how we treated Kido-san back there.
Director Kido will go down in history if we achieve this.
A lot's changed in 3 years. The bastard's really made a name for himself.
Be nice.
Dr. Shono is right over there. Well, if you'll excuse me.